Have you ever wondered how a giant metal tube deep under the ocean keeps its crew of 300 sailors fed and happy? Picture this. You're trapped inside a submarine the size of a football field, but you can't open any windows for fresh air. You can't run to the grocery store when you run out of milk. You can't even see sunlight for months at a time. Now imagine having to cook breakfast, lunch, and dinner for 300 hungry people every single day in a kitchen smaller than your school cafeteria. That's exactly what happens aboard a US Navy submarine, and it's one of the most incredible food operations you've never heard about. These underwater fortresses dive deep beneath the waves, completely cut off from the outside world. No delivery trucks can reach them. No restaurants exist down there. Everything they need to survive must fit inside their metal home before they disappear under the water. But here's the amazing part. Submarine cooks don't just keep people alive with boring food. They create delicious meals that boost morale and keep sailors strong during some of the most challenging missions on Earth. From cramped storage spaces to cooking without fresh ingredients, feeding a submarine crew requires creativity, planning, and skills that would impress any chef. Today we'll explore the fascinating secrets behind submarine food operations and discover how the Navy's underwater heroes stay well fed even in the deepest, darkest parts of our oceans. Chapter 1. Tiny Kitchens, Big Appetites. Imagine trying to cook Thanksgiving dinner for your entire school in a kitchen the size of a small bedroom. That's exactly what submarine cooks face every day. The galley, which is what the Navy calls their kitchen, is incredibly tiny compared to the massive job it has to do. Most submarine galleys are only about 12 feet wide and 20 feet long. That's smaller than many people's living rooms, yet it needs to feed 300 hungry sailors 3 meals a day. Every single inch of space matters when you're cooking underwater. The ceiling is so low that tall cooks have to duck their heads while working. Narrow walkways between equipment mean only one person can pass through at a time. Unlike restaurants on land where chefs have plenty of room to move around, submarine cooks must carefully plan every step they take. But submarine designers are incredibly clever. They build equipment that does multiple jobs in one machine. The same oven that bakes fresh bread in the morning becomes a roasting oven for dinner. Steam kettles that make soup for lunch can cook pasta for hundreds of people at night. Even the countertops fold down from walls to save space when not being used. Everything gets bolted down tight because submarines rock and roll underwater, just like boats do on the surface. Imagine trying to flip pancakes while your kitchen is tilting back and forth. Special brackets hold pots and pans in place, and magnetic strips keep knives from flying around during rough underwater conditions. The most amazing part is the storage system. Submarine cooks stack canned goods from floor to ceiling in specially designed racks. Freezers and refrigerators get built into every available corner. Some submarines even store emergency food supplies under the floor panels. Despite working in such cramped conditions, submarine cooks prepare incredible meals. They bake fresh cookies, grill steaks, and even make pizza from scratch. These talented food artists prove that great cooking doesn't need a giant kitchen. It just needs creativity, skill, and determination to keep their underwater family well fed and happy. If you're enjoying learning these amazing submarine secrets, hit that subscribe button so you don't miss our next underwater adventure. Chapter 2. Months without fresh air. Picture keeping your lunch fresh for 3 months without ever opening a window or going outside. That's the incredible challenge submarine food storage teams face every single day. When a submarine dives deep underwater, it becomes completely sealed off from the world above, creating a unique puzzle for keeping food safe and tasty. Unlike ships that sail on the ocean surface, submarines can't crack open a window when food starts smelling funny. The air inside gets recycled through special machines, but this creates moisture problems that can ruin food quickly. Too much humidity makes bread moldy, crackers soggy, and fresh vegetables rot faster than usual. Submarine storage experts use amazing tricks to solve these problems. They wrap everything in special plastic that keeps moisture out. Dry goods like rice, flour, and pasta get sealed in containers tighter than space food. Fresh fruits and vegetables receive special treatments before the submarine leaves port, including protective coatings that help them last weeks longer than normal. The most impressive part is the temperature control system. Submarines have multiple freezers and refrigerators built throughout the boat, each one set to exact temperatures for different types of food. Meat freezers stay at -18 degrees, while vegetable coolers maintain just above freezing. These systems work so well that submarines can keep ice cream frozen for months underwater. Smart storage rotation becomes critical for success. Cooks label everything with dates and organize storage areas so older food gets used first. They create detailed charts showing exactly where every type of food lives throughout the submarine. This system prevents waste and ensures nothing spoils before getting eaten. Some submarines carry enough food to last 4 months without any resupply. That means storing thousands of pounds of meat, vegetables, and dry goods in spaces smaller than most people's basements. Storage teams become masters at fitting square containers into round spaces, stacking boxes to the ceiling, and using every tiny corner available. The result amazes everyone who learns about it. After spending months underwater, submarine crews still enjoy fresh-tasting meals, cold milk, and even frozen treats. These underwater storage magicians prove that with enough planning and clever engineering, you can keep a floating city well fed no matter how far from land they travel. Chapter 3. No room for waste. Imagine living in your bedroom for 4 months with 300 roommates, and you need to store enough food for everyone. That's the mind-boggling space challenge submarine crews face every time they prepare for a long underwater mission. Submarines are basically floating metal tubes packed with engines, computers, weapons, and people. Finding room for enough food becomes like solving the world's most difficult puzzle. Every single space that isn't absolutely needed for something else gets filled with food supplies. Walk through a submarine, and you'll discover food stored in the most surprising places. Canned vegetables hide under stairways. Boxes of cereal stack behind computer equipment. Even the spaces between pipes and walls get filled with emergency food supplies. Submarine crews become masters at finding storage spots most people would never think to use. The creativity gets really impressive when you see how they maximize vertical space. Storage specialists build towers of food boxes that reach from floor to ceiling, secured with special straps and nets so nothing falls during underwater maneuvers. They create storage maps showing exactly where every type of food lives throughout the entire submarine. Some submarines store food in areas that seem impossible. Sleeping quarters have special compartments under bunks filled with snacks and drinks. Even bathroom areas include hidden storage spaces for cleaning supplies and paper products. The torpedo room, where submarines keep their weapons, also stores tons of canned goods between the torpedo tubes. Weight distribution becomes just as important as finding space. Submarine engineers must balance heavy food storage throughout the boat so it stays level underwater. Too much weight in the front makes the submarine nose heavy, while too much in the back creates steering problems. Food storage teams work closely with engineers to place heavy items like canned goods in exactly the right locations. The most amazing storage innovation involves using every surface possible. Walls, ceilings, and floors all become potential storage areas. Special brackets hold supplies against curved submarine walls, while ceiling-mounted nets keep lighter items secure overhead. These space-saving experts prove that with enough creativity and planning, even the tiniest spaces can hold incredible amounts of supplies. Their ingenious storage solutions ensure submarine crews never go hungry, no matter how long they stay underwater or how far they travel beneath the waves. Chapter 4. Cooking without windows, special underwater methods. Cooking underwater creates challenges that no restaurant chef ever faces. When you're sealed inside a metal tube hundreds of feet below the surface, even making toast becomes a completely different experience than cooking in your kitchen at home. The biggest difference happens between regular submarines and nuclear submarines. Nuclear submarines have massive power plants that generate electricity around the clock, giving cooks access to powerful ovens, grills, and cooking equipment. These underwater powerhouses can run multiple cooking appliances at the same time without worrying about running out of energy. Regular submarines, called conventional submarines, face much tougher cooking challenges. They run on battery power when underwater, which means cooks must carefully manage how much electricity they use. Too much cooking power could drain batteries needed for life support systems. These submarines often surface at night to recharge batteries and run air-breathing engines. Ventilation becomes the trickiest part of underwater cooking. When you fry bacon in your kitchen, you open windows to let smoke escape. Submarines can't do that hundreds of feet underwater. Instead, they use incredible air filtration systems that scrub cooking, smells, and smoke from the air before recycling it throughout the boat. Nuclear submarines have advantages here too. Their powerful systems can run heavy-duty ventilation fans that quickly remove cooking odors. Conventional submarines must use smaller, quieter fans to save battery power, making smell control much harder. Submarine cooks develop special techniques that work in sealed environments. They steam more food instead of frying to reduce smoke. Baking becomes more popular than grilling because ovens contain heat and smells better. Many recipes get modified to create less steam and fewer strong odors that might bother crew members in tiny living spaces. Temperature control requires constant attention since submarines can't release excess heat outside. Nuclear submarines handle this better with their powerful cooling systems, while conventional submarines must carefully balance cooking heat with limited air conditioning power. The most impressive cooking happens during emergency situations when submarines must stay completely silent. Cooks learn to prepare meals using only the quietest equipment, sometimes serving cold meals to avoid making any noise that enemy ships might detect. These underwater cooking masters prove that delicious meals can happen anywhere, even in the most challenging conditions. But storing all this food and keeping it fresh creates even bigger challenges that we'll explore next.